Spoilers tease that Cody thought he minded his own business, trying to help his good friend Leo, when he simply suggested to Tracy a better way to handle things with the young boy. It blew up in his face. Now he's managed to get on Tracy's, Jane Elliott, bad side because how dare he tell her something about her own grandson. Perish the thought. Never mind that she barely spent time with him, and Cody, Josh Kelly, is around him a lot. So what should Tracy do about this awful man in her midst? Over 2,000 WANU caseworkers think you know exactly what she will end up doing. Only 2% predict that Tracy will make sure the younger man is fired and removed from the premises. She can't have anyone thinking they can talk to her this way and get away with it. After all, others may witness it and think they can too, and she'll lose all control. Then there's the 3% who speculate that she'll find him to be better suited for her granddaughter than Brooke Lynn's, Amanda Seton, current boyfriend, Chase, Josh Spickard, and will scheme to get the two together. This could be dicey, but as troublesome as the young man is, he's a safer bet to have in the family than a cop. You've seen this love/hate before, so 5% predict that Tracy will be turned on by the fact Cody isn't intimidated by her. She is still in mourning over losing Luke, Tony Geary, and what better way to get over him than to get under someone else? Why should Monica, Leslie Charlson, be the only one who gets the chance to have a younger man romance her from time to time? Tracy deserves her own turn. But the overwhelming amount of 90% speculates that Tracy will need to leave Cody alone for the mere fact that Leo, Easton Rocket Sweta, adores the stable hand, and if she wants to prove what a loving grandmother she is, she will not rock his world by removing the man who makes him feel safe with the horses. Today on General Hospital, Sunny gives Nina surprising news. Liz begins her first day at her new job, and Jordan makes Taggart an offer. Nina and Ava meet at the park to jog. Ava thinks Nina looks good for someone who just told Sunny the truth. Nina admits she couldn't tell him. Ava warns her that Ned will tell everyone what she did. Nina reveals that Ned doesn't know the truth because he believes he's Eddie Main and doesn't remember his real life or family. Ava asks if she hasn't told Sunny, then why is she not wearing her ring? Nina reminds her that she took it off and explains she made up this excuse about losing it down the drain, and she managed to drop it down there when she got home. Ava warns Nana that this situation isn't sustainable, and Ned will eventually remember his life. Nina points out that sometimes trauma victims don't remember the events leading up to their accident. Eva says she better hope so, otherwise she'll be on her way out with Sunny. Nana hopes Ned gets his memory back, but what are the odds he'll remember what he knows? Ava points out he'll still know he didn't turn Carly and Drew into the SEC, and pushes Nina to come clean to Sunny. Nina refuses because she'll lose Sunny and Willow. Outside of Sam's, Carly again asks Drew not to go through with his plan, but he would rather do the time than see her go to prison. They kiss and he says he'll see her later. Carly heads across the hall to see Sunny and informs him that things are about to be resolved with the SEC. She explains Drew's plan, and Sunny calls it an honorable thing to do. She's still furious with Ned for turning them in and asks if it's true he thinks he's Eddie Main. Sunny confirms he does. Carly hates the idea of Drew behind bars after what Peter and Victor have already done to him. Nina and Ava arrive and Carly states she was just leaving. Carly heads out, and Ava asks Sunny how things with Carly and the SEC are. Sunny relays Drew is agreeing to do time, so Carly stays out of prison. Ava gives Nina, who musters a smile, a look. Ava states that's good news for little Donna. Sunny has more good news and reveals the plumber found Nina's ring. Nina walks Ava out and in the hall vents that Carly once again gets away with everything. Eva points out Carly getting off is the best thing for her, because now Sunny might forgive her for what she did as Carly didn't do time. Nina calls it a small comfort. Nina returns to Sunny, who puts her ring back on where he says it belongs. She promises never to take it off again. Drew stops by Sam and Don's place. Alexis is there, dropping something off for Danny, and says she was about to head out to check on Ned. Drew asks her to stay as this involves her in a way. Drew informs Sam that he's offered himself up to the SEC in a deal to keep Carly out of jail. He'll have to pay a fine, and he'll have to do some time. Sam asks long he'll be in prison. Drew says the deal hasn't been accepted, but his lawyer is suggesting 6 months. Alexis doesn't recommend this deal, and Drew says his lawyer said the same thing. Sam asks what Carly has to say about this. Drew sidesteps that question and was hoping they could tell this news to Scout together. Sam doesn't know how they explain he's leaving her again, and this time by choice. Alexis heads out, and Sam asks Drew to fight the charges. She says nobody made money and the companies never merged. Dante points out that by the law, it's the intent that matters. Realizing he's not helping, Dante decides to excuse himself to do the dishes. Drew tells Sam this kills him, but it's the best way out of a bad situation. Sam says it's not best for him or their daughter. Only Carly. Sam asks if Drew can really stand to be away from their daughter for 6 months. He can't, but he must. There is a knock at the door, which Dante answers. It's Carly, who thinks Sam might have some things to say to her. Sam's not happy about Drew's decision, but it's his decision. Carly swears she did try and talk him out of it. Sam asks Drew how they tell Scout. He thinks they should wait until the deal is done, and they know when he'll head to Spring Ridge. Drew figures they have time to figure out how to tell her with Dante. Dante is surprised Drew wants him there. He does, and he feels better knowing Scout will have both Sam and Dante while he's gone. Drew and Carly depart, and Sam tells Dante she wants to make a box of all of Scout's achievements to put in, so she and Drew can go through them together when he gets back. Carly and Drew talk a walk outside. Carly hates the idea of him being a prisoner again, but Drew says Spring Ridge isn't an underground cell in Crete, and he'll be fine. Carly won't be fine without him, and they embrace. Drew says it will only be 6 months, and they'll get through it. He suggests they make the most of their time together, and Carly accepts his challenge. At the hospital, Liz speaks to Epiphany's portrait right before her first shift as head nurse. She misses her and wishes she could have one of her pep talks right now. However, she was taught by the best, and won't let her down. Emmy speaks with Portia at the nurse's station and apologizes for walking in on her in the on-call room. She had no idea Portia slept there and hopes her patient is okay, assuming that's why she stayed the night. Liz overhears and sends Amy on a patient errand. Alone, Liz asks Portia if she needs to talk. Portia doesn't know what to say. Liz guesses things aren't working out for her and Curtis. Portia thought they were, but Curtis has other ideas. She admits she slept at the hospital because she was afraid if she and Curtis were in the same house, she'd be pushed to say something she couldn't take back, and he might do the same. Liz asks if she still wants a life with him. Portia isn't sure, and Curtis clearly has other matters on his mind besides the two of them. She says this is why she can't talk to Curtis right now, as she has no clarity. Suddenly, Liz gets a flurry of notifications and says, so it begins. Portia tells her to go be the head nurse. Portia thanks her for the talk and says it has made her realize who she needs to be talking to. Molly and TJ meet with Dr. Navarro. Molly has been feeling better since beginning the endometriosis treatments, but there is still some discomfort. They came to discuss hormone therapy, which Molly knows will stop her periods. Before she starts that, she would like to harvest her eggs. Dr. Navarro makes the arrangements and says a technician will come to get them soon to run some preliminary tests to determine how many eggs they might be able to harvest. The doctor leaves the room, and Molly feels this will allow her to freeze her eggs and keep their options open. Molly asks if he'd be okay with the surrogate. TJ says he would be okay using a surrogate, and they discuss how they go about picking one out. Molly notes there are experts to advise them on that. TJ thinks this could work. Later, Alexis arrives and runs into TJ. TJ tells her about his and Molly's decision to harvest her eggs for options, and she's undergoing tests right now. Alexis knows this isn't how he and Molly imagined having a baby. TJ says it's no longer a private thing between him and Molly now. It involves lots of doctors and technicians. Alexis suggests they just focus on the prize, a new baby coming to them. Alexis goes to speak with Amy, who can't help but gossip to Alexis about Ned thinking he's Eddie Main. Liz overhears and sends Amy off again to do work. Later, Liz catches up with Amy and has a talk with her about patient confidentiality. Liz asks if she's seen Portia, but Amy says her office door is closed and locked. Molly rejoins TJ, and on their way out, Dr. Navarro stops them and says Molly's test results are in. Taggart stops by Jordan's office to apologize for being such an ass yesterday. Jordan is just glad to see he's sobered up. She asks if she can help him with something, and Taggart admits he needs a job. He asks if there is room for another detective. Jordan is surprised as she thought he liked working for himself. He says all this traveling is getting old, and he wants to stay in Port Charles. Jordan assumes this is about Trina and asks if he's worried that Curtis will replace him. He can't deny it. She reminds him that Trina would never cut him out of her life. They get back to his need for a job, and Jordan says there is a position open, her job. She explains she's the new acting deputy mayor, and she can suggest him for her job. He is surprised she thinks he can do it. Later, Jordan is working alone when there is a knock at the door. She tells the person to come in, and it's Portia. On the next General Hospital, Portia asks what possessed Jordan to kiss her husband. Trina confronts Curtis and asks, hasn't there been enough of that in this family already? Gladys tells someone on the phone, come tell me what you think you have. Cody fears Sasha will get hurt. Sasha fumes, you don't know the first thing about Cody Bell. Lucy asks Maxie, what exactly is the story? TJ says, anything for you.